They say silence is peaceful, but in one forest at the base of Mount Fuji, silence is deadly. Would you dare walk into the woods where thousands have gone and never returned? This is the story of Aokigahara, Japan's infamous suicide forest. The forest of darkness, Aokigahara, is a dense, sprawling forest stretching across the slopes of Mount Fuji. Its nickname, the Sea of Trees. From above, it looks calm and beautiful. But step inside, and you'll quickly realize why it's called one of the most haunted places on Earth. The trees grow so close together that sunlight barely reaches the ground. Cell service, gone. Even compasses fail, spinning uselessly. It's easy to get lost and impossible to find your way out. And for centuries, the forest has been home to legends of restless spirits. A tragic history in Japanese folklore. There is a practice called yūrei, abandonment of the elderly in remote places when families couldn't care for them. Some say Aokigahara was one such place. Elderly villagers, left alone to starve, are believed to have died among the trees, and their spirits remain. But in modern times, the forest became known for something even darker. Since the 1950s, thousands of people have entered Aokigahara to end their lives. So many, in fact, that local authorities stopped publishing numbers to avoid encouraging more. To this day, police and volunteers patrol the forest weekly, collecting remains and placing warning signs at the entrance. Your life is precious. Please think of your family. But the signs can't silence the whispers. The spirits of Aokigahara visitors report hearing voices, calling from deep within the woods. Not animal sounds, not wind, but human whispers, leading them off the path. Some describe pale women in white kimonos, yūrei, Japanese spirits of the restless dead. These figures drift silently through the trees, hair hanging over their faces, eyes full of sorrow. When followed, they vanish. But those who chase them often never find their way back. One hiker swore he saw a woman standing by a tree, sobbing. When he approached, she turned her face to him, completely blank. With no eyes, no mouth, she dissolved into mist, leaving him alone and shivering. Modern-day explorers, despite its reputation, thrill seekers and paranormal investigators continue to enter the forest. Some bring cameras, others bring rope to mark their path, terrified they'll lose their way. But no rope can protect you from what hides in the trees. One investigator reported hearing the sound of footsteps behind him, though he was alone. When it turned, he saw a dark shadow dart between the trees. His camera captured nothing but static, though the battery had been fully charged. Another group found a small campsite deep in the forest. Food, hafitan, a sleeping bag unrolled, but no one was there. The site looked abandoned for days, yet the firewood was still warm. The forest that watches. Scientists claim the forest is just disorienting. Dense trees, strange magnetic soil. Too easy to get lost. But believers argue otherwise. They say the forest itself is alive, that it feeds on sorrow and despair, drawing people into its depths. One legend says the yūrei spirits don't just haunt the forest, they become part of it. Every tree, every branch, Every shadow could be watching you. A man once shared his experience after entering the forest to hike with friends. He tied a bright red rope to a tree, determined to stay safe. But halfway in, the rope snapped. He swore something pulled it hard. Panicked, he followed what he thought was the sound of his friend's laughter. But when he reached the clearing, there was no one. Only dozens of footprints in the dirt, circling him. Footprints too fresh to be old. Yet no people around. When he finally stumbled out, hours later, his friends were waiting at the entrance. They said they never left that spot. Most people think the danger of Aokigahara is losing your way or running into the spirits of the dead. But maybe the truth is even darker. Maybe the forest doesn't want you to leave. Maybe it chooses who gets out and who becomes another whisper in the trees. Because here's the horrifying twist. Every person who claims they made it back alive says the forest still calls to them in their dreams. And some say one day they'll return. So tell me, do you think Aokigahara is just a tragic forest with a sad history? Or is it truly alive, trapping souls and growing stronger with each one it claims? Come in, YES. If you believe the forest is haunted, nitrogen monoxide. If you think it's only the human mind.